All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful like Akim, pushing his word with truth and sincerity. And Shalom to the sincere believer, the Akim and Akwath, listening and learning. I'm going to get into this lesson. It's going to be titled, the deception of AI will be used to persecute the elect. All right. The deception of AI will be used to persecute the elect. All right. I'm here with the brother Darash. Give him your channel name.
My channel name is Humility Before Honor. That's with a B and a 4.
All right. And, go subscribe to the brother and tune in to be edified, through the Spirit of the Lord. Hey, so we're going to start out here in Matthew, the 24th chapter, starting at the 6th verse.
And it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet."
Right. These are going to be signs of Yahushai's return. All right. These prophetic events, but the end is not yet. And what must we suffer, before the end? All right. We must go through what's known in the scriptures as Jacob's trouble, and the rest of the end time prophecies. All right. Not only there's going to be war, all right, famine, all right, as the scripture is about to say, but we'll be have to go through a persecution, and this devil is going to use his technology and his sword, all right, and this AI, which AI is just a demon, all right, this and he's going to use that deep fake, to deceive, the masses, all right, and portray the men of the Lord as something that they're not. All right.
Verse 7, and it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places."
Right. And we're seeing all those things, happening right now. You got it.
In verse 8, "And all these are the beginning of sorrows."
You good?
Verse 9, "Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted."
Right. Right. Then, after these things pass, these were signs of the, that would happen in the latter times towards the end. Then, all right, when these things come to pass, we're going to be delivered, all right, to who? This government. And some men will stand trial. Hey, it says that in, I believe, Matthew the 10th chapter. These people are gonna deliver you up. You ain't gotta grab it.
Yeah.
But you continue on that.
Yeah, and then it says here, "And shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake."
Right. So they're gonna try to deliver us up to to the accuser, because Esau the one that wants us, because we by the Spirit, or the mouthpiece of, we're the mouthpiece of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and he doesn't want to believe in the prophecy, all right, of his end, all right. This is his end, all right. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it, all right. So he wants to do everything to prevent his end, all right. So he believes that if he takes out the men that are, putting out this vibration in the world, which really is all through the will and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that his end is coming, all right? But he wants his birthright back, all right? Which he can never have, because it wasn't given to him, all right?
In verse 10, it says, "And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another."
Right. And they're going to be offended by this deception, all right? This deception that this devil in power is going to use against, the men of the Lord and sincere believers, All right, his deepfake technology and AI technology is both able to, and not only track and seek out everything that you search and invade privacy and whatnot, but he's able to manipulate, alter pictures, make it seem like you're doing things that you're actually not. Take a replica of your skin, put it on another person, and have them speaking and talking and looking just like you. All right, so people are going to be offended. All right, they're already offended by the prophets because they don't believe what they're doing is wrong, and the prophets are sent for improvement of our people. All right, and to get our people ready for the coming of Yahweh Shai. All right, they already have a problem with that, but on top of that, all right, this devil's gonna use his technology to place blame on the elect, plain and simple. All right, so if a brother that you trusted and believed in, all right, and next thing you know, you seen him on the news doing some outlandish shit. Hey, that's gonna cause many to turn away. All right, and that's when you think about it, what Yahweh Shai was accused of. All right, it was placed on him falsely. All right, that blame was had no evidence of him doing those things. That's why, what did he say? He said, are you the king of the Jews? If you say, pretty much, if you say so,
Mm-hmm. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right. And only the non-elect is going to believe these things. All right, the elect has the eyes out; they know what's coming. The brothers and sisters rooted in this thing. We know the devil's tactics and what he's about to do. All right, now we're preparing it for it, spiritually, and trying to increase our faith so we can, withstand the times that are coming. But the people that are out here just blinded, as it says in 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, blinded by the powers of this world, that they can never receive the truth. Hey, they're gonna be stuck. They're gonna be stuck in complete and utter darkness, and then they're gonna be the ones, falling for Esau's deception. You got it. Matthew 24 and 24.
Yep. Matthew 24 and 24, it says, for there shall arise false Hamashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Right, and you have these crazy Christians, doing, all these sorts of, all kind of sorts of, catching spirits and whatnot, casting out demons, which that's all like an act and a play. Esau Edom is the true, he's the number one anti-Hamashiach.
Yep.
All right, and his lying and deceiving powers come from his sorceries, his pharmakia. Okay, as it said, the serpent was the most subtle beast in the field.
Mm-hmm.
All right, or was more subtle than all creatures. Okay.
And the word pharmacy itself means poison. They put it right in front of your face.
Right. What's that scripture that say the poison of the adder? That's the serpent. All right, and we know that words, his venom, is in his Western philosophy, his delusion. Yeah. All right, because they stumble it with, but not a strong drink. That's the delusion and confusion of Babylon that this devil has juiced people up with.
Yep.
All right, got them walking around believing they don't even know what they believe in. They believe in the dollar bill. They believe that money is their savior. They believe that Trump is going to be their deliverer.
Yeah, and that's why you have a lot of I think there's like 150,000 or more people that
are
getting desperate and signing up for the ICE.
Yeah, signing up to be a contract,
contract policeman.
Jake Getter. It was 150,000. They have 150,000 applicants, and the reason why they're doing that is because the economy's so bad. And then you got they got a $50,000 signing bonus and clearing debt. So people was running, to go be to be hand in hand with Esau Edom. Another thing that shows that is going back into the lying wonders, all right, of Esau, because this MOTB produces false miracles, all right. These getting people to walk, that have been lame, those are all things that miracles from the Lord would heal, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And that stories in the Bible show you that through faith, as Yahushua, you need faith to do these works, to heal and cast out demons and those sorts of things. But he said, that shows that this devil is putting himself to be like the Most High, and we're gonna actually grab that. But going back to the CHIP, all right, you got 10,000 people signed up for Neuralink, recently. So, these people in Babylon, is joined, to this beast system, to say the least, and they ready for the next thing. All right, a lot of that's how bugged out this place is, in this bitter captivity. But yet to them, they think something good of it. They think something good is gonna come out of it if they work hard. All right, which you could work yourself to death and die broke.
Yep. And leave absolutely nothing.
I'm actually grab 2 Thessalonians in the NLT.
Mm-hmm.
So give me 1 second. And then the next one is going to be you grab 1 John 4 and 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this 2 Thessalonians. No, my bad. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3 in the NL. Actually, I'm gonna read 3 and 4 in the KJV. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." And that is speaking of Esau Edom, all right, who brings forth perdition, unrighteousness, sin. All right, a way adverse to the Most High. All right, that falling away first was speaking of the Israelites in 70 AD, being dispersed. All right, and when these Romans ransacked the all right, and brought down the temple, all right, in the so-called Jewish Roman War.
Yeah.
Okay. And they destroyed the temple. So then Israel was, because that was a whole siege. They pretty much trapped Jake in there. It actually speaks about that in Matthew 24. But those trenches, that Greek word is karax, and it's no different than the MOTB. now this is a digital trap, that we're entering into. But he's being revealed right now. So the world is waking up to who, all right, the adversary of the Most High is, who, that this man is not right. All right. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And that's the God complex of Esau Edom. And how is he doing that? Through this digital technology, all right, through biometrics, and pretty much leading into the BCI, this brain computer interface, with these devices such as Neuralink and whatever other brand they want, the RFID CHIP that's tapping in, into his complete control of the human body.
You can also look up something called transhumanism.
Right, the merging of
man and machine.
Man and machine, Tawada. All right, and these are they go into his miracles. All right, so he's playing God. All right, that's really what he's doing, and it's all for his own benefit and his control. Now, these same miracles that he has access to is also going to be used as his deception. Okay, this is dropping down 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9 in the NLT. It says, this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. So he has his power was given to him by Yahweh Bashim al-Shah, but it's not on the same level. It's not up to par. All right, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. All right, but this man is a carnal man, and carnality is enmity with the Most High. It says he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. And that's because those that believe in this shit, and believe in his tactics and believe in him, all right, they're not of Yahweh Bashim al-Shah to begin with. They're not of that fold. They're not of the elect. All right, or else the Lord would bless them with that eye salve to see past it. As we read, to deceive the very elect. And it's only by the will of Yahweh Bashim al-Shah that we're not fooled by his AI deception, his deep fake. Mm-hmm. It says because they got, they're going to come with things that seem real right in front of us. How they have those billboards that project 3D holograms and things of that nature. So and then they do an explosion right behind,
Yep.
Which nueve uno.
Yep.
So starting back at the top of verse 10 in the NLT, it says, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. All right? So the Lord ordained, as it says in Romans the 13th chapter, the Lord ordained this position of power in the sword, to take out who he take out. Yahweh Shai said that. He said a pharaoh, a bird won't drop dead unless the Lord sanctioned it. So he has no power, and that's the thing that you got to understand. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. All right, this devil has no control over life and death. All right, but you simple Jake, you sign over your life in his hands. All right. So the Most High will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. Believing that the MOTB is going to be their deliverance, believing that these deceptive tactics that he's about to put in play, believing a fake video. All right. a squirrel beating up a bear.
Mhm.
All right. They had I don't even know if this was real or not, but it was a baby. A baby was trying to stick a spoon in a outlet,
Yeah, you got electrocuted.
and then a dog came and like pushed her out the way.
Yeah.
But that could have been AI. You know.
And nowadays, you really can't tell the difference anymore with these videos you'll be seeing.
Yeah, you look for subtle distances. Like there was a video that looked super real, and it was a cat that chased off a bear. But you look at if you watch the video all the way through, the cat disappears halfway through chasing the bear.
Yep.
You know.
I got a precept right here.
Let me finish this out. I
Okay,
got 2 more on this.
Gotcha, go ahead.
It says, actually, it's just this last verse. In verse 12, it says, "Then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth." All right? So you're setting yourself up. All right? You're setting yourself up for disaster. You know, and it's already in our people to be against the prophets of the Lord. All right? It's already in them, as Yahushua, told, you or your fathers were killers of the prophets. You come from that generation. Prophet killers, man. We have prophet killers in our people. So, hey, and everybody's back in this time, and they lie, respectively. The righteous, and the filthy, filthy.
Yep.
You got it.
This is a precept, Romans chapter 8, verse 3. It says, "For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, the Most High sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh. So Yahushua overcame the temptation of the flesh." Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why Yahushua is the only one. He's the one that, as a scripture, he is the light and he is the way. So we have to follow after his example and deny our flesh, deny the carnality of this world, because that's what, especially here in this particular time, in this particular place, man, it's a death trap. It's nothing but temptation after temptation after temptation, day after day after day, and you got to resist that. And here's verse 4. It says that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh but after the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the scriptures say, verse 6, which I'll get here in a second, but to walk after the Spirit, man, you have to carry a different mindset about yourself and about this world, man. You can't be like the masses out here who who like to indulge and affiliate themselves with all these wicked and unseemly activities, man.
Just because it feels good.
Yeah, just because it feels good doesn't mean it's good for you. Most of this stuff out here is sickening.
Yeah, well, the food itself that it tastes so good, is usually the worst for you.
Yeah.
All these, who knows what is in it. We only believe what they say is in it, but you ain't make it, so you truly don't know.
Yeah, the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing, man. Like this being in these meat suits, this flesh, man, it's designed to go off. We're not going to get it right. But here in verse 5 it says, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh." So there you go. But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. So that tells you there's a difference between the carnal mind and the spiritual mind. Okay?
You got to see, and we're going on just, it's going to be put in front of you as facts, These accusations are going to be put in front of you like, this is who you believe in. He's doing this. The person who you follow, did this. And you got to ask yourself, well, is that something of the Lord? And yeah, you're going to have, you have men today going off, that claim to be men of the Lord,
Yep.
but they not in that right spirit. You got more on that?
Yeah, this is one more. Just verse 6, and says, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." Okay, so again, resisting the lust, the desires, and wants of the flesh, man, that's the spiritual mind. That pertains to life and peace. It causes you to have less problems in your life. But when you're carnally minded, you're going to have problems after problems after problems. Self-inflicting wounds, getting into things that you don't need to be getting into. Okay, making impulsive, brash decisions.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and grab 1 John.
Okay, this is going to be the book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 5. And it says, "They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them."
Yeah, those tied to, living after the flesh, those, not in the right spirit to begin with. They're tied to this world, so they ain't gonna get it.
And you could see 2/3 of our own people, man. You could already tell just by looking at them that it's like, yes, we still have to tell them, but you could even just with the spiritual eyesight that we have, we can tell that they're just too far gone. It's not going to reach them.
Right. That they blinded. Yeah.
In verse 6, it says, "We are of the power. He that knoweth the Most High heareth us, and he that is not of the power heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error."
Right. The unbelief. You're not in the right spirit if Chief High Priest Hoover, gang banging, right after you in the ministry, saying that you one of the top dogs in Israel, and then now you doing the very things you should have been preaching against, or preaching for men to get out of that lifestyle. All right, now you advocating for it. Not to make it about him, but hey, they'll join hand in hand. You'll be destroyed. All right, and we have to, so the elect can't be deceived at the end of the day, because we seen that miles away. That hey, from the hat on your head, and we also got to have the long suffering with brothers, because once upon a time we was that in that 2/3 or the Gentile state of mind as well. But as time ticks down, that spirit come upon us, man. It's cry aloud and spare not. Because you either now is coming to the crunch time to where you either got it or you don't. Okay. And when these type of events go out, talking about like when Esau, putting markers on men of the Lord and seeking after, the true prophets of the Lord, we ain't got time for all that. We don't got time for it now.
I mean, we already know that he's seen our faces. He knows who we are. So there's really nothing for us to worry about at this point.
We telling him, go do what you got to do. Sign up all those ICE troops. Sign up. Enforce the MOTB, because we ready to get out of here. All right. Can you go to Ecclesiastes 10 and
Gotcha. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Ecclesiastes 10 and 5. And it says, Ecclesiastes 10 and 5, and it says, "There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler."
Yeah, and the ruler of this world, we under a cruel leader. All right. Now that word error go into it goes. One of the definitions is deception. All right, that's what this devil's working with, a sleight of hand. You know, he's working in that deception, and his deception is AI. But hey, you had Elon Musk already said that AI is a demon; it could overtake the world. All right, so the deceived and the deceiver is his. You know, this technology that he's putting out, you know, could very well be the same thing that kill him, same thing that take him out. You know, that error is his deception is a two-edged sword.
Yep.
You know, so even though he sharpened it and he got he ready to use on Yahweh Shem Shai's men, hey, it could very well bite him in his own butt, and at the end of the day, it will. Hey, his robots could turn on him. You know, they're already using, you know, deep fake against their own government.
Yep.
All right, which some of that is staged for, you know, them to invoke.
Just to arouse the masses.
Right, you got it. And then let's just go to Revelation 12 and we'll get 12. I believe 11. Let me double check.
Let me get Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. Let's start verse 10.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
The one.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. And it says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the kingdom of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night."
Right. Yeah, the Lord is going to cast down the accuser of our brethren. The accuser, you know, is the devil. All right? The devil is the adversary. All right? And that goes into his false accusations. His you know, and that's what he do. He just he's looking at hey Lord, he eating pork, you know, to cast those cords, you know, to cast off those cords and our connection to, you know, his main goal and objective is to disconnect Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai's people from their power. All right, that's why he's constantly pointing the finger at us. But yet he laid all the snares and paved the way for us to only fall into, you know, to sin. You know, he guided us there. He put that false delusion on Jake to do everything against Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai's will. And it's not only the will of the Lord that we hear now, for the Lord's mercies.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. "And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives until death." So,
yeah, we don't love our lives here. We hate our lives here.
Mm-hmm. And we can only overcome, you know, this man of sin, you know, and the going off ourselves and being a product of that, you know, by the blood of Yahushua. All right, that's our covering. But yeah, we look at this life and we see that it ain't worth. That's why, you know, we make our bodies a living sacrifice. You know, if it be our lot to go through that persecution, you know, which we will go through the persecution, but to be one of those men to have to you know, have to be beheaded for the Lord, if that be it, you know, that's a honor. All right, because we know what death truly is. All right, death is an illusion itself. That's one of Esau's tactics, is making, when you die, you go to hell. You know, you go to a fiery pit. You know, you burn forever. Or, you know, this is it. That's pretty much what he says. So he holds that construct of his ideology of death over you, so people was afraid to die, not knowing that, hey, when you die, you go back to the Lord. You're restored. Your spirit is, is is taken up, and you in the lot of your fathers, but you pretty much whole.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then you just regenerate. You come back down in another body. All right, but people got that fear of death. All right, they don't believe in the power of and that causes them not to believe in the power of the Lord. You got it.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Now, Saki, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna read verse 11 in the NLT,
Okay.
and we'll jump back in there. It says, "And they have defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by their testimony." Right, which if the Spirit of the Lord is prophecy, if the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy, and then our testimony is prophecy, that shows that this word is powerful, and that's by these prophecies we're gonna defeat this devil. It says, and they did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die. So the Lord's gonna put that spirit on us, to not be afraid of death. And it just said it a little bit different. So
Basically telling
because it said love their lives, not but in the NLT it says that they were not afraid to die.
All right. I had a quick pre here.
Yeah, you got it.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord." Verse 2. "And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true."
Mm-hmm. These prophecies are faithful and true, just like Yahushua.
And after all these things that we've been speaking about, what's going on and what's happening throughout the world with the economy and the system and how things are falling apart, you all thought we were just sea theorists, but now those sea theories have become actual facts.
Yeah. You gotta be stupid to believe, IUIC saying the MARK is sin.
Or,
Yeah, let's close out on 12. And then,
okay. This is Revelation 12 and 12, and it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
Great, diverse, many.
So
He's gonna come with all types of. We read that in where we read that. It's gonna happen by many different ways. The devil's gonna try to attack you.
yeah, 2nd Thessalonians.
Yeah, I believe it was in 2nd Thessalonians.
Yeah, so Esau, he knows that this is his end, so he's gonna pull out all the stops to try and fight his hardest to keep what he has, but it's the Lord's gonna Yahweh Shemashah is gonna take it away from him anyway.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's all he. This is his last go. This is his last stab that he can have at it. That's why he got to come with that wrath. He got to come and bring out all the stops because he ain't got nothing left. All right, and at the end of the day, the Lord ain't gonna let none of his bullshit prevail. And that's it. So Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. With that, we'll give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakudash. Okay, and shalom to the elect.
Shalom.